But anyway, have you noticed that in Christian Cage's group, that Nick Plain's mom is the second biggest person in it?
You've pointed this out several times, yes.
Well, Renee Moxleygood had an interview with them. And then the fireball that Jericho burned Hook with was replayed because Tony Schiavone was in the ring with Hook to do a live interview. Hook, who never speaks. Now we know why. Nobody could help this fucking kid not make an imbecile out of himself. Tony Schiavone, 40 years as a wrestling announcer, gives him the most awkward fucking question to respond to ever. Well, the thing everybody want to know, how's your eye? Hook has come out wearing a white wife beater, exposing his New York tan. He was barely any darker than the fucking wife beater, but he's wearing the fucking, what do they call it? The stocking cap or the ski cap, or what are those kind of caps?
I know what you're talking about. I don't know what the official name is.
Well, it's not a hoodie, because but it's the fucking cap. But he's got half of his head wrapped up like Boris Karloff in The Mummy, trying to sell his eye that he supposedly can't see out of. But you can see that all they've done is wrap him with gauze. There's no eye patch over the eye underneath the gauze. You can see through the gauze. Whoever approved that didn't talk to Doc Sampson or some doctor that might have ever bandaged an eye. And he's wearing the cap. He looked like this is the time. Come out, dressed like a goddamn adult, with the demeanor of a goddamn adult, and talk like a goddamn adult about what you're going to do to Chris Jericho. Instead, he leaned into the camera so you can see that perfectly clean snow white gauze that had just been put on him fucking 5 minutes beforehand, still wearing that fucking goofy cap, and screamed what he was going to do to Chris Jericho. And while he's weighing 150 pounds, he looked like a teenager on the street yelling into somebody's phone to do a TikTok video. Everybody let him down on that one. From makeup to goddamn creative to fucking production. And then Jericho and Big Bill and Brian Keith came out and said Hook's a stupid son of a bitch and he ain't going to fight him tonight. It'll be at Wembley. And that's going to be his last chance at the FTW title. And next week in Cardiff, it's Hook versus Big Bill. Hook is 160 fucking pounds and Big Bill's 7 feet tall. So let's do everything we can to make the fucking babyface look like he's a goddamn middle schooler before he fights Jericho. Are you following any of this, Brian?
And then you get to see Big Bill potentially choked out by Hook.
And well, that'll be icing on the cake.
The Chris Jericho stuff's been awful. Hook's booking is bad. I don't know what his potential or what his ceiling is or isn't. At least it wasn't another person with just an eye patch. We've seen that like 20 times on AEW.
And they couldn't even sandpaper his face a little bit? Because it was a fireball. It wasn't just a fucking poke in the eye with a sharp stick. He'd have some residual damage all around that. I think maybe they sandpaper him a little bit. Towel it.
Maybe Jericho can make the fireball like a real kind of thing. Like incorporate things that he really does. Like take a big swig of vodka and spit the vodka into the flame.
Well, they taught Ricky Steamboat how to blow fire to be the dragon. So Jericho's already got a mouthful of vodka ready to go at any point. He could just, if you just hold the fucking Bic lighter up in front of him, he could pretty much do it on the fly.
Oh, he's going to give him the Grey Goose. He's going to give him the Grey Goose. And there it is. I don't know what sound you just tried to make.
That was the blowing of the fire.
Oh. Oh, now I understand.
Yeah.